The following production is part of the Play Some Video Games podcast network.
Welcome back to the Nintendo Shack, a proud member of the Play Some Video Games podcast network. I am Jason Lacey, and back in the house with me tonight, Mr. Donnie Reese. How are you, sir?
Greetings, Kooplings. I'm doing good, Jason. Dude, I'm fresh off of a nap.
You're feeling good. You recharged.
Good. Yeah.
You know, you just put yourself on the dock for a couple hours, charged up.
Charged up. My wife came home. She was going to a meeting this evening. She's DJing or singing at a wedding or something. And I'd completely forgotten about it. She wakes me up and she's like, are you sick? I was like, no. I'm taking a nap. She's like, why? It's extremely rare that I take a nap. Her family, they take a nap like every Sunday. Like afternoon, they do like this nap. It's like the whole family just slumbers. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, this is daytime. We have things to do. Like, you can't just nap. So when I take a nap, you know, everybody thinks there's something wrong.
See, that's like my wife will take a nap when, you know, I don't blame her one bit. 'Cause she's dealing with a crazy 1-year-old all day, and dogs and all the stuff. So if he takes a nap in the afternoon, take it, do it. But Sundays usually that's the day. You know, she'll do that same thing, and I'm programmed. Like, I broke myself like years ago when I got my first like adult job, and I got like my rhythms are like ingrained. At 7 o'clock, you're awake.
Ooh.
11 o'clock, you're asleep.
That's so early.
Know? Yeah, and I don't. If it's daylight, I can't nap. Can't do it. And I do, I feel like crap when I wake up.
That was the other surprising thing. So we had chatted before we started this show, and you were like, I might be late. And I was like, well, if you're late, I'm not going to be able to make it. I had a late night last night. So I was like, there's no way. So I came home. What surprised her is not only did I lay down and take a nap, but when she walked in the room, I had put up curtains. Like, we've had curtains forever, but I'm like you. Like, if it's daylight, I can't sleep. I was like, there's no way I'm going to sleep in here. So, like, I finally installed the curtains that have been sitting next to it forever. So, like, I had it all set up. She walked in the room's dark, fans on, air conditioners on, I'm asleep, TV's on. So, yeah, it was a fun little afternoon. But, yes, I'm ready to go.
I got some sweet blackout curtains in our bedroom, but they, nice. I mean, I don't know. It's just like if I know if I know it's awake time, I can't do it. I don't know. I do want to bring up though. You've started a trend because I've been listening. I try to here's my thing. I listen a lot, like many people that are listening to this podcast, probably host podcasts in the same circuits as we are. You listen to a lot of podcasts. I have like 20 shows I think I've subscribed to. And there's a few shows out there, some maybe, let's say smaller shows, but I would say newer shows that don't have a website. They do it all on YouTube. And I like that, but it's really hard for me to listen to a show that's only on YouTube because I don't know why. I want to just be able to listen to my phone and work and do my thing. But guys at the 3-Bit Losers started a show. I think they've got 4 episodes now, and it's Skinny Matt Knight from the Twitterverse, Aaron Doherty, Nasty Boots, and James Johnson, and they're kind of members of the Make Us Better.
Those are good guys,
and all that. Yeah, good guys. But I wanted you to know I think it was episode 3 I watched. Skinny Matt stole your sign-in. He came in.
Really?
He came in. It was either episode 3 or 4. He came in with the greetings Koopalins.
Wow, that's a bold move there, Skinny Matt. I'm gonna have to. We're gonna have to have some words. You can't be doing that. Yikes.
I will say, though, his enthusiasm wasn't quite as boisterous as one Donnie Reese. I mean, when you come in with the greetings Koopalins, you're in there.
You got to bring it. I mean, mine ebbs and flows. Depends on the subject matter and the environment in which we're operating in. But you got to bring it. But I'm going to tweet him right now. Like, that's a no-no.
I'm putting out the hit, doing it. So, Donnie and I try to break down news, Nintendo stuff for you guys each and every week. Our last episode, Caroline joined us. We talked some Smash Brothers stuff, and we got ready for the show today. I'm like, what do you want to talk about? And I was like, I mean, we've kind of been in this little, I don't know. here's a fun thing I think we can talk about. But we kind of been in this little drool of Nintendo, and people now. I saw you tagged me in a conversation about it too. People now are talking about there's just no games. There's this drought. What's going on with 2018? What's Nintendo doing? I'm not looking forward to anything. And then Dark Souls was pushed back. Oh, I'm not gonna have Dark Souls now until late summer or whenever it is now. And it's like, I guess I haven't noticed because I think my gaming consumption is a little bit down across the board right now. But I've got I feel like in 2017 I was like, oh, gotta buy this game, buying this game, buying this game, buying this game. I've got I've been playing Graceful Explosion Machine of all things, a game I haven't played since launch. I went on there. It's like, Psycho Cross has a higher score than me. I don't think so. Sit down. Daddy's back. Boom. Get out of here. Knocking off, taking my first place, getting my S pluses.
That was an interesting conversation that I jumped into with our friends over there at the Nintendo Village. And I did apologize. I was like, hey, I don't want to just jump in here to your hate session. I'm all for everybody getting that out of their system. Because I can imagine that, especially me of all people, I get that apologist stuff far more often than I would like to. But they threw around the Wii U label. They're like, this is feeling like the Wii U again. I'm like, whoa, whoa, wait a second. Didn't Kirby just come out? Didn't South Park come out next week? Really? That Wii U period was 8 or 9 months where we were playing Ultra Chess. There was nothing. There were no indies. There were no third parties. There were no ports. It was NES Remix, Ultra Chess, and Gunman Clive. There was nothing.
You said indie. That reminds me. There's a game I got to buy. I think it comes out tomorrow. Actually, that weird adventure game. That's not adventure, but that weird side-scrolling pixely. It's something remastered or not remastered. I can't remember.
I didn't know you were interested in that one, but I think I put that in my wish list. I think it's the same game. Is it The Way or The Way
Yes,
Out?
that's it. Yeah, yeah, The Way.
I love that we both.
Here's the thing. I love Twitter because I'd never heard of it, and somebody I followed,
never heard of it either.
Somebody I followed, Kerbals, had said anybody had played it because he was interested in wondering what their thoughts are. It's I looked at it, it's oh my god, I have to play this because I think in his description he said it reminded him of, oh gosh, what is the game from Genesis that's not Recall? Oh gosh, I can't remember. There's a game that's just like that, and I can't remember now, but I was totally. And I watched the trailer for it. I was like, this looks awesome. And I read some of the Steam reviews, and I was like, this looks great because it captures it has some of that visual appeal that was so much what I was into with The Long Reach, that it has that aesthetic that I like, but this game looks really weird and bizarre, and it just looks cool. And it's it's $12, $12.99 or something like that. I mean, it's
pretty cheap. And
it's
I did throw it in the wish list as soon as I saw a trailer. I was like, that's neat. Wish list.
I'm pretty sure that comes out tomorrow. So for a celebration for all the stoners on 420 day to be like, ooh, let's play this journey. But I think that's how you have to approach this. We aren't getting there any first party stuff. And I mean, let's face it.
Well, hang on, there is. That was the other thing. Happy Labo Day, everybody. That junk comes out tomorrow.
Labo.
I watched reviews about it all day today.
I think those are...
So here's the... Hang on. Let me fill in what you're about to say.
I want to say niche, but...
I realize... Now, I see that... I knew you were going to go there. Labo is not a niche title. Labo is the opposite of that. It is a mass market appeal product. The problem is Labo doesn't appeal to 35-year-old gamer that owns every gaming system wants to play a AAA game every week. You're like, that person is a niche. So that's the thing. In our echo chamber on Twitter, they're like, well, where's Dark Souls, a Call of Duty? It's that's a niche market. The people, not the people that like those games. Let me correct I can already hear the Donnie corrections coming. It's a niche market to have a video gamer that plays that many games like that.
That's true.
So week to week to week. I mean, Kyle brings up all the time. The average consumer does not buy a game a week or a game a month. But then we go on Twitter and we whine about how we don't have a new game every month, or the games that we do have are ports, or not the ones they want.
Yeah.
And it's just not to throw Nintendo Village under the bus, and I'm actually not even sure if the other guy was a part of it. I think so, but
I've seen other people, not to single them out, but I have seen that. We've seen that viewpoint before, and we're just bringing that up because that happened today. Top of mind.
My point was, go back and play some stuff. Like, did you play everything? Have you played Fire Emblem, and did you play Fire Emblem Warriors, and did you do Steam World Dig 2? Like, did you miss anything from last year? Like, or have you literally played everything that interested you? And the response I got was, Dark Souls was the only thing I was looking forward to until E3, and I was like, you probably shouldn't own a Switch. It's like, let's just be honest with ourselves. Really? If Dark Souls was the one game that since January you were like, this is the one thing I'm going to buy, this console isn't for you. Like, it was never going to be for you.
Right.
So it was interesting. It was an interesting conversation. But yes, generally outside of that conversation, we're in a lull. It seems like we're in a dip. And I mentioned that after the Direct when I expected ports to be here. Hyrule Warriors would have fit here in April much better.
Yeah, I really until May. I'm glad you bring that up because we got Hyrule Warriors coming, and then 10 days later is Tropical Freeze,
and Runner 3 drops the same day.
So I think if those two, that's almost like the whole ARMS Splatoon 2 debacle and a little bit how ARMS came out, and then we got Splatoon 2 that kind of completely overshadowed it. Not to say that one of those two games is going to overshadow each other, but I want to play both games. I had Tropical Freeze on the Wii U. I touched Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U, but I never really invested any time in those. So those are two games I'm looking to get. So, I don't see a lull for me really in 2018 because there's almost the problem is I think there's so many. Right now we get all these indie games and we get some crap ports too. They get shoveled into the eShop that you have to sift through. So it's hard to you got to sift through that and let the cream rise to the top,
Sure. But
I feel there's always still let's say, and while the long reach wasn't what I hoped for,
what we wanted it to be. Yeah.
It was still a cool experience that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
I mean, it only kept me busy for 2 days, but I mean, there's stuff like that coming down the pipe that it's fun to check out.
Sure.
And then I've got my Hyrule Warriors coming. I've got my Tropical Freeze coming.
You still need to play the Detention and or the Coma. There's all kinds of stuff to play.
There's stuff like that.
If you want to just be busy, there's all kinds of busy games. I get it though. It's an Xbox argument where there's no tent pole. This gets me hype. I'm going to get excited about it, especially when you're seeing games like Sea of Thieves drop and then God of War drops. You want to join in on that fun, and it's just not here for you right now, and that's okay.
Can I be honest? I had a long, hard conversation with myself about. I was like, should I just sell this Xbox? I really thought that because I was like, Sea of Thieves wasn't what we hoped, But luckily with Game Pass, it's something I can say, well, I'm not playing this right now. I'm just going to shut off my Game Pass for a couple months.
You do that.
Jump on there when I want, and when they update it and bring some more content through it, I can check it out again.
Or add
I was really like, my Xbox Live runs out in June. What do I want to do then? Because I found that I don't have the time for two consoles. I'm not that person anymore, and it's just too I can do one or the other. And for whatever reason, the Switch always grabs my attention. Except right now, the 3DS has grabbed my.
As I say, let's get
Mister. I hate the 3DS. That's what I'm playing. But then I was like, you know what? I can have inactive subscriptions. The Xbox doesn't cost anything to just be sitting there, and I can come back to stuff when it comes. So that's what I went with. But I mean,
it makes for a great Blu-ray player at the very least.
I think once I get that 4K TV. And I think then I'll probably be like, oh yeah, Xbox a little more. But there's stuff like that along the way. I mean, there's Octopath Traveler coming. I mean, there's enough I think to be really still psyched about 2018.
Well, and that's the thing is are we at a point in time with social media and demands and letting everybody know exactly how you feel all the time that when you don't have a video game that you want to buy at full price in 4 weeks that you whine about it and you start calling it a drought? That's not a video game drought. That's not a video game drought. I am perfectly fine and capable. Not that I'm experiencing this drought feeling, but I'm perfectly fine and capable of waiting until June. Like you said, we have Octopath Traveler. We have No More Heroes coming. I'm still super hyped for Runner 3. I've got games. I've got games coming. I'm busy. My time is full. My cup overfloweth.
Maybe you'll get Hollow Knight by 2019.
That'd be great. That'd be really good stuff. That 3DS though, yeah, I've been playing that. Just to like kind of transition away from the sad talk. I've been playing that all week.
Hey, I've got a patch coming for Brawl Out. So, I mean...
I wish I could get my money back for that game. I wish it's like
maybe
or if I could give it to somebody else, like maybe just get it off my system. Like, can I transfer this license?
I think I love it that how like probably my enthusiasm in that game helped push many other members of
sold
PSVG
at least 8 copies of that game.
I've played it with nobody. I played it with Josh. I played 2 matches with Josh like the day it released. Never played with anybody else in PSVG. Nobody. Now I don't know if that is that. Not to toot my own horn, but is that because of my reputation of being a superior platform fighter?
Best
I
gamer.
mean,
yeah.
Beep. But no, 3DS. Let's get off of that.
I've been playing with 3DS. Honestly, constantly. It's been the main thing that I've been playing this week. I haven't had a whole lot of console time. My father-in-law had his 60th birthday party where he had like this huge shindig at his retirement home, and he just got to bask with all of his friends, you know, his life achievement, which is fantastic. Like, go him. Not really my place. I don't really do crowds. I definitely don't do like crowds of, I would call them snobby people, but just older wealthy people. Like at one point, this guy was talking about how he sends his dog.
Socialites.
At one point I was listening to this guy talk about how he sends his dog to Michigan to get trained, and I was like, that must be the life. Like he's just like, we have the best dog trainer in the world. He was send him over. So I was playing my 3DS because like everyone else, I'm. You know, the interesting thing about Switch is that I bought Lost Sphere and still haven't even booted it up. Like I have no interest really at the moment to. Like, I don't have time. I've been doing Far Cry and all these other things. So it's like when I get to it, that's going to be something like when I have nothing to play, I'm going to start playing Lost Sphere. But on that 3DS, ever since we started the Mario Golf, I've been carrying it with me because I'm trying to get my practice, I'm trying to get my skills back over there on the golf course. And then I started putting in some other carts. And then I started buying a couple of carts and stuff that I've never done before because I'm carrying it around. And also, I'm living off that high of that new hardware smell. Everybody knows that. You get a little new thing, you're like, well, I got to play it. So I got that Pokemon 2DS, and I'm sitting around playing it. I did just get a game. I thought I brought it down here. I got Zero Escape.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not exactly sure. It's like the final mission or something. $14.99 at GameStop or something. I started playing it up there at my father-in-law's, and I love that game. It's a great game. I played it for about 6 hours there, and I've probably played it for about 12 hours since. I have no idea how far I'm in it. I think I've done like 12 rooms. Do you have any idea what this game is?
I just looked it up. Is it kind of like, I don't know. I don't even know what it is. Zero Time Dilemma? Is that what you're
Zero Escape 3DS. This is beautiful.
It's like a weird
Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward is the game that I bought. It came out in 2012. And it's all right, so here's my elevator pitch. If you've never played it, I would recommend it.
Oh yeah, I remember looking this game up for some reason because I know that dude with like the gas mask looks familiar.
So it's an escape room game. Like you get put in a room and it's all these puzzles about how to get out. And like, you know, like those real escape rooms, it's very similar. You got to find the trinket that unlocks the box to get the key to unlock the next box, to open the door, to get the handle, to turn the crank, to open the machine. Like it's all of these like cascading things. And in around that is like this Japanese anime, like Persona-esque dialogue. It's very mature. You know, there's a lot of like adult references and whatnot. And it's also like Saw. Like the whole time there's like this crazy person on the other end of the line's like, you've got 3 minutes or your life's over. And it's got like this Jigsaw like character. And so it's got like this horror element plus like this J-pop anime thing plus this escape room. And I have no idea why I never knew of it before or whatnot, but I totally fell in love. And I've been playing that one. I've been playing Mario Golf. I've been playing Pokemon Sun. Like my daughter, we got her Style Savvy. She's been playing that. Like we have been playing 3DS as a family. Like we were watching Raw the other day. We all had our 3DSs out. It's like it's just getting that Mario Golf back in. It's come full circle. Now we're redoing kind of all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I had to find my charger. and I started charging mine up. And you guys gave me the hard pitch on Mario Golf, and I was like, that night I woke up.
How great is
like,
Mario Golf?
The next morning, you had sent me that eBay link, and I was like, well, let's make an offer.
Fun to do like Josh. Challenge accepted.
Made the guy an offer. Was accepted like 2 hours later. He literally shipped it out that day. I got it on Monday. And I over the weekend I had started playing the demo. So over the weekend I was like, oh, let's play the demo again, get reacquainted with Mario Golf a little bit. And then I was like, I wonder if my 2DS, not my 2DS, I wonder if my DS still works. Because for the longest time I had a DS and I lost the charger. And then I found it randomly again. And so it hadn't been used since years ago. And Lucas was working a night job. He borrowed it to, play while he's making his rounds. He was like a security guard. It was really boring. So I was like, I think I have Final Fantasy Tactics for the GBA version of that. I could play that. So yeah, I charged up my DS, and I tried to play Final Fantasy Tactics. Like, the screen is so small. This game is so slow paced. I couldn't do it. But literally, I haven't opened this thing. It hasn't been charged in years. I charge it up, boot it up, and sure enough, it's got the exact same. It's got the correct date. Time was only off because of daylight savings time, and this thing has just been dormant for years. And I booted up, and it's like, yep, here you go, works just fine. It's got the time and date, looks great. I was like, wow, that's amazing. Meanwhile, I go to play my 3DS, and I don't know if I ever talked about it on Shaq, but my battery doesn't like sit proper for whatever reason. Like, every once in a while, I will, after I transport it, my battery's like, my time and date's been reset. Like, the battery pops loose somehow and it resets my time and date. So I had opened it up before, and I just slapped some Gorilla Tape in there, help us, hold it in place, because I don't want to send it in and deal with all that. But that issue keeps happening. It's happened like twice since I started playing again, which was only a bad deal when I was trying to play Pokemon Picross, because you get your daily. You can do like these daily challenges, and you have to wait for the clock and the timer. And if it detects, you change the time, you're gaming the system. So, yeah, it got me back in 3DS and played Mario Golf, which I had never played. And as I said, I had never played a Mario Golf. And, yeah, I had a bit to learn. I am disappointed, because I did buy a used copy. I can't view any of the trophy presentations in any of the tournaments I do. Because there's get this message that pops up and says if you had deleted your save data or transferred your data, you can't I don't know why. What? It says you can't participate in the trophy presentation.
That doesn't sound right at all.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's a message.
You need to reset something, because the copy that I have. No, that's not true. Mine's digital. Yeah, so you might. Yeah, that's weird. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, so I've never seen it like a single player I have, but.
I mean, you're not missing much. I skip right through it. You just little me's go on the stage.
So at first I thought I did have to reset the cart, but whoever had it didn't really unlock a whole lot. There's no clothes that are unlocked. They
Jason's
only had one.
I'll take these clubs. Thanks.
Yeah, right. They hadn't unlocked anything. I think they only did that. They did the first cup tournament or whatever, the course you can do. They had done that because I went and did the one on the beach, and oh my God, the one on the mountaintop, I can't do it. Mario gets a -6. He's 6 under every time. It's just so frustrating.
Come on, Jason, get good.
This game's made me rage.
I've waited my entire life to say this. Yes.
But now that I've finally gotten the hang a little bit, before I had no idea how to I had no idea oh, I'm supposed to do these combos here. Look, and I can do top spin and back spin and all this. So started to apply those, and I learned hey, if I use a power shot and then do a perfect, I can get the power shot back. So little tricks like that. But yeah, you guys suckered me in to do the lunchtime tournaments, and it's been fun because it's weird getting connected with everybody. We're all playing one game together, having a conversation around one game together. It's fun, It's fun to have that, and it's fun to just see a bunch of people play. Because let's face it, when's the last time we had 6+ people all playing the same game? Together. I mean, we've all played certain experienced single player games, but I mean, when you can actually play something together,
and that's the fun part. I mentioned to it before you got the game how much I enjoy this game's multiplayer. It's because it's multiplayer, but it's not. We all have to sync up. We all have to set a date and time. We all have to be together. You can play it whenever you want. It's Jason, you can play at lunch, and I can play it before I go to work, and Caroline can play it before she goes to bed. But we're still all playing together.
Yeah,
and
that's a sweet feature.
Yeah, it's a neat thing that I've never really like more games should do something like that. And I guess maybe golf or a sport like lends itself to that more than others.
Yeah.
But I just think that's really cool. I wouldn't mind even doing like a kart like that, where like we all time trialed and you could race against all the ghosts like in real time. That would be cool. I just think it's more convenient, and I've always enjoyed the Mario Golf that way. But yeah, I got to 7. I haven't seen anybody catch me yet.
I almost got 6 the one day, and it's amazing. Like well, first of all, I had to learn how to use the items and like how I wanted to use the items. But like I was consistently getting an eagle on that first hole, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna roll that momentum, and I would do. And at one point, I think I was sitting at like 5 under on the 8th hole, and then it all fell apart, and I was about to get like a double bogey. And I was just like,
the rage is real.
Slapped that thing shut, threw it over my shoulder.
I can't tell you how many times I've gotten to 6 only to realize that I can't get to 7 or 8, and I'm just like, start over.
Yeah,
here we go.
I mean, that's what's nice too, is like you can really quickly, as soon as you start over, loads right back up. But then my little me pops back up on the course, like waving at me. I'm like, shut up, I just want to play. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been really fun. Like even Lucas is like, I want a freaking 3DS because I want to play Mario Golf with you guys.
And when it comes to Switch, when Camelot does Mario Golf for Switch, it's going to be over. That's my Smash. Like how you are with Smash, you're like, I will move, like the FOMO won't even be in effect. Like I'll move stuff away from that time, and I'm like, I'm just going to play golf for a long time, for weeks. I am buying South Park next week.
Oh yeah, I forget that.
I think a lot of people forgot that game was coming.
South Park is like that property. Like I love South Park, but I'm like so far removed from South Park. At the same time, like I could watch an episode, and I'm like, why did I stop watching South Park? But then I still don't watch it. And I remember when I heard they were making the game and how awesome it was and how it was resembled the show and captured the feel of the show, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna play it. Still haven't played it. And so now here's my chance to like play something, and still.
Well, I can't recommend that anybody jumps in with me. I mean, I'm not going to even act like the game isn't cheaper and offers more in other places. If you have other ways to play it, you should.
It's just like it's the same problem I'm going to have. Like, well, let's mention it. We don't know what. I've heard mixed things. I've heard that Wolfenstein 2 like looks really good and has run well, but I also hear there's a lot of issues at the same speed.
On the same too, but like. They said it ran terribly.
Like it has frame issues and weird.
They said it didn't look that good either.
Yeah, so it's like, do I want to pay $60 for that, or I could get it on Steam for
Xbox.
$10, so I can get it on anything else, and that's the one problem there.
I can't fault anybody for that. Now, I will say I don't expect us to have any like issues or feel like a degraded version. I mean, the South Park game is the graphics and everything should fit really well on the platform. I bought it because it's a pretty good RPG. I think it's 20, 30 hours or so. And so when you're doing side quests, it'll do more. So with that in mind, I wanted to play the portable version of the game. And, also there's like nothing in this window, and I had trade credit. I mean, I've had this pre-ordered since the fall. So, I said, I get that it's worth more in other places. I mean, at $60, it's hard because it also doesn't even come with the original game. So if you bought South Park Fractured Butthole on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, you actually got the Stick of Truth for free. And you don't get that on Switch. At least we don't think we are. I did notice that they called this, the version that comes out next week, the launch edition, or like the standard version. So maybe there's another version coming, or it could just be that they're going to release it with DLC at a later date or more DLC. But I'm still very much looking forward to it. The characters and the writing and everything should be fantastic. And also next week is the NFL draft, and that'll be taking up a lot of my time because I'm a big sports fan. So I just plan on sitting on the couch and playing South Park and really enjoying it. And I'm looking forward to it. Put me in, Coach. Hey, Tyler. So while we wait for Jason to get back, everybody stepped away, I will go ahead and point over to the chat where Caroline and Tyler are having a blast. And Caroline wants to know what my video game, what is it, waifu is? And this is like my video game wife, like your work husband or your work wife. I mean, honestly, I think you already know the answer to that question. It's probably Corrin from Fire Emblem. Yeah, I have a strong connection to her. I need notes so I can edit this out. 29 minutes. Tyler, I'd let you come in, but I can't, man, because it would mess up the stream and everything. You would just like push over everything. Waifu, got it. Man, Jason didn't just leave. Jason like left. I like walked across the room and back. I just paused. I couldn't keep going.
That's
I talked about South Park indefinitely, and I was like, "Well, I don't really know where to go from here." I'm gonna cut out that part, and I'll cut out Caroline's question. I'll ask it again. So let's reset. And Caroline and Tyler are over there in the chat, and Caroline wants to know what's our video game waifu, which she correctly taught me how to pronounce. So apparently she already guessed it on the stream. Mine is Corrin. I have like an affinity and affection for Corrin from Fire Emblem. Just everything about that character I'm infatuated with.
You know, I don't think I don't have one presently, but I have an old school one that was always mine from back in the day, and that was none other than Tifa Lockhart from Final Fantasy VII, for certain reasons, but like everyone was always so in love with Eris, and I was like, no, I'm all about Tifa. Get that, all about that brunette with the knuckle buster, whatever her one move was.
Sure,
just a bunch of people.
It's good stuff. So, anyways, I'm looking forward to South Park. Is there anything outside of this adventure game that you're looking forward to? Because you're not getting as many games as I'm getting, right?
Typically not.
Like, are you doing Mega Man or Street Fighter? Because those come in May too.
Street Fighter, I don't care about at all. I just don't. We played it. Like I played a lot as a kid, like the old school Street Fighter, but it just didn't. This new stuff doesn't resonate with me. Like I discovered, like after Smash, I think I discovered that my type of fighting game is the platform fighter. Like I like the Tekken series a lot, but I just can't go back to this, like the standard, you know, one-on-one fighting style that those games offer. And so that Street Fighter stuff has nothing for me. Gotcha. Mega Man, I have a history with Mega Man. Like I love the Mega Man series. I would love to have them again on a Nintendo console. I have the collections on the GameCube, the Mega Man, and then the Mega Man X collections. So I am probably going to jump onto that. But yeah, I've had a luxury of, I had like some generous gifts that I've stretched between that, sales, the Amazon credit, because I think I'm at the point where I'm going to be able to get, it's probably going to get spent on Hyrule Warriors. I'm probably going to get Hyrule Warriors at a pretty steep discount between the Amazon pre-order, and then I think I'm going to have close to $30 in Amazon credit. So I'm going to get that game for like $14.
Nice. Worth every penny.
So that'll help. And then, so I gotta stretch what I got left until like closer to my birthday. So then I'll have to really look and see. But I mean, let's face it. If I'm putting stuff on, if I'm buying eShop credit from the Amazon with my Amazon card, I'm like, that's not really due for a month. Purchase. So I mean, it makes it easier than going through. But let's see. I'm pulling up. Let's see what I got on the wish list here.
I know we've said it a dozen times, so we won't name every game. I'm still amazed that we don't have a release schedule for like the 10, 12 indie games we've been following for 12 months.
Yeah.
Now would be the time. Now's the time.
Now is the time.
One a week. What are you doing, Nintendo? Get them out. I mean, it's not their fault they're not ready, but
yeah,
come on.
I'm still interested in Earthlock, but I went back and read a couple reviews that were kind of like, it doesn't do anything new. You know, it's just kind of retreads old territory, which may not be a bad thing with RPGs. But then I'm thinking for $30, I could get a really good RPG on 3DS.
Did you do any reviews? Your turnaround on 3DS just shocks me. It just stops me in my tracks. No, Donnie, it's dead.
Because,
it's dead. It's
because I've wanted to play. I've been wanting to play an RPG for a while,
That's
and
true.
my options are really limited on the Switch, and I just can't do the crazy, like Japanime styled
No
stuff.
Shin Megami Tensei for you.
Yeah, and that's not gonna happen. And like so many people have preached to me, like, you gotta play Xenoblade. It's like, well, Xenoblade, I think I want to rent first. I gotta, let's bring that up.
I bought Xenoblade Chronicles 2 again.
Yeah.
Much to Kevin's chagrin, by the way. He gave me like a 3-tweet tirade as to why I would buy a game. As he said that I didn't enjoy. I don't think I ever said I didn't enjoy. I said
no
at
fun
the time
is allowed with Kevin Austin.
Right. He makes a Shaq appearance once again. The streak continues.
Yeah, gotta talk about him.
I mean, they were running a sale on Amazon on the special editions, these collector's editions, and I was actually really, I really like that steelbook. I didn't buy the game just for the steelbook, but I had a lot of credit on my credit card from bringing those trees down. I basically got it for free. So I was like, well, I'll throw it back in there. Like, we're kind of in a lull, and maybe we'll have another one. I don't know, but maybe one day, as I told Caroline, maybe one day I'll get back to it. I played some of that Xenoblade X last week, and I do like me some Xenoblade games. I think with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is it wasn't what I wanted it to be, right? As a fan of X so hard, it wasn't that. So I was like immediately turned off. You take that plus the 200 hours it takes to beat, and I was like, I'm going to go play Wolfenstein 2 and Call of Duty and some other games, and maybe one day I'll come back to this. So now I've got it. It's here to come back to. This box, the book, and the CD in this box are actually going to Caroline. So I'm even getting I'm getting free lunch out of this deal off the side. So yeah, you could do that game, but yeah, I don't know if Xenoblade is for Jason Lacey.
Yeah, I don't know. And then I
think you need like RPG light. You're kind of in that mold.
Well, I grew up on the PlayStation era RPGs. Those were my first experiences. I didn't have, I just don't think the Genesis was a good console for RPGs. Sure. I mean, some people were big fans of the Phantasy Star series and some of those others that appeared on there, but let's face it, Super NES had everything Square Enix. That's how do you compete with that? Your Final Fantasies, your Chrono Triggers, your Sega, your Secret of Evermore, all that stuff. You can't compete with that. So I cut my teeth with Final Fantasy VII, Wild Arms, Xenogears, Saga Frontier 2, bunch of that stuff. So I think those are the kind of more type of the games that I'll play. Like I've never played one of the Western, more Westernized modern RPGs. I've never gotten into Mass Effect or I tried with Dragon Age. It just never stuck. So that's why Earthlock. Long story. That's why Earthlock might appeal. But I do have. Let's see. I have The Adventures of Bertram Fiddle, Episode 1. That's only $5. It's like this. Looks like a beautifully animated adventure game, which I hear is quite humorous. So I'll probably just. $5. Sure. What do you got to lose?
Buy anything for $5.
I still have I wanted to play Axiom Verge. I never played that, so I might jump into that still.
I think that's perfect.
Yeah, and I've got The Way Remastered on there. That's on my wish list. That's my whole wish list right now.
Did you do any reviews on Battle Chasers? Have you followed that at all? Because that's an RPG that comes out in the middle of May, and it's from.
I know which one you're talking about now. Yeah, that's the one character is that weird mech looking steampunkish.
It's from THQ. I mean, it looks quality, and I like.
It looks good.
I like THQ, and it doesn't cost an arm or a leg. It's $40.
See, that's the hard part.
You just said you had $30 in credit.
Yeah, that's going to Hyrule
Warriors. I get it. I'm just I'm trying.
I told you I gotta get the quantity for low. I have low margins here. I keep my margins low. My overhead costs are high. I gotta move a lot of product.
The Wild Lucas appears in the chat, and I have been enjoying living vicariously through Lucas as he rediscovers Mario Kart and The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. You mentioned on your podcast something you've taken a Donnie, just complete contradict yourself. I think we're gonna get you to play Breath of the Wild again, aren't we?
I've many days. I think when I go to work, I'm like, the box is behind me on that shelf here.
It's right there. I could just
there. and I could take that cart with me and start it up. But here's the problem. And like last week when I was having an issue, I was like, maybe it's time to play it. But then I think of, I'm like at that point, I'm like, oh, Lucas is playing it. It'd be cool talking points. We can, I can re-experience the game as he plays it. And then I'm like, God, there's so much game there. There's so much I'd have to do all over again. And it's like that's like the one hurdle that's still holding me back, because
I'm in that second part where I'll start playing a game like a Xenoblade or like a South Park, and I'm like, this is fun, but I could just play Breath of the Wild again. Like, I keep telling myself, I'm like, instead of buying all these games and trying to play them all, I could just stop and just play Breath of the Wild again. And that would be fantastic.
I mean, it would be interesting to play, like, especially the plateau and those other early sections again, knowing how much better understanding of the mechanics and the game you have. Because, like, I remember when I was first playing, I was like, what the hell does this pinwheel do? I know it's a Korok seed. I don't know how I'm supposed to get it. Whatever. Off I go,
I'm excited I'm also excited to replay it when we eventually do, because we will. I'm excited to see if that changes my mind at all. Like, I really, really am. And that's why I think it's fun that we're going to play it as a group. Because I can already predict how this is going to go. It's probably not going to go down until 2019. But at some point along the way, I'm going to start replaying it because I'm going to make Dev switch. And Kyle's going to join me. Josh is going to join me. And then you're going to join us because we're all doing it.
Doesn't sell a Switch first.
And then we're going to tell, Sean and Bobby. And all of a sudden we're going to have 12 people replaying Breath of the Wild. We'll probably catch up to Lucas by then. And then and then we'll all be playing again. And it'll be fantastic. We can have another podcast. We have like a 2-year later revisit 3-hour podcast about Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Lucas is finally going to get a game worth playing on his Oculus Rift, and it's going to sidetrack him.
Finally. Yeah, that VR. What up? Leave that there.
Yeah, right?
All right, so you've got some games you were looking to want to say. I've got some games I want to buy too. I don't know. I don't get the trepidation people feel. I think it's the conditioning. It's the 2017 relapse. People are like, they come up from this smog, they wake up in this fog and the smoke clears and they're like, wait a minute, we don't have a new game that drops every month? What is this place? And it's like, this is reality. This is the real world.
Yeah. So, well, I think some people want to just play the new hotness and then be involved in the conversation of the new hotness. I think that's the hard part. Like you mentioned FOMO. Some people just don't want to miss out on that. And
right here.
Honestly, what I've thought about doing, what a lot of nights I look at it and I set up, it's like I'm thinking about just hooking up my Super NES Classic and streaming, Final Fantasy or Yoshi's Island or anything on there, just because I neglect it. It sits over there under that TV and I don't touch it, and I feel bad because there's a lot of good games on there I want to play, and I don't want to play the emulated versions. I want to play that and want to have some fun and do it and do the stuff. And actually, I neglected to mention when we talked about 3DS, probably the game I played most last week was Super Mario World. I put a ton of time in Super Mario World because I got stuck in I can't remember what stage, but there's a couple sections that were just kicking my butt. And then I finally,
wow.
Yeah. Like, I just would get killed over and over. And I was like rage quitting. And I think part of it, I will say part of it, I struggle with like the controls a little bit on the 3DS with it, but finally, I was like, you know what, I'm Jason Lacey. I can do this. Persevered, and I've just been, because I've never played Super Mario World start to finish because I never had a Super Nintendo. I never had the access to it. So
I didn't know that about you. That's astonishing.
Yeah.
That might be the best video game ever made. I still defend Super Mario 3 just because it's like, it's the Hendrix to the Clapton. It's the originator, but boy, that Super Mario World really did it big. They did it big in a big way. Which makes that Console Wars book so much better. I'll never forget that. When they get a Super Mario, they get a Super Nintendo, they send the guy home and he comes back in. There's the people that make Sonic and they're like, it's not that great. Like when I heard that in that chapter, I was like, best video game. Even if you don't agree, it has legit claim as best video game ever made. Like legit claim to that title. Even if you don't agree with it, you can't argue that if you were like pulling a dozen of them, it's there. Guess what's not there? Sonic. Like, yeah. I just find that there's
that
hard.
So much more depth to that game than what Sonic is. Like Sonic was all like bright flash and flash in the pan style. Like, and I love Sonic on the Genesis. I love Sonic 2, 3, and Sonic and Knuckles are some of my favorite games. Like I would play through those. I did all the Chaos Emeralds. That was like my first like game I would obsessively just like replay sections and do the thing. And but like in terms of depth, in terms of things that are there, I mean Sonic it doesn't stack up. There's so much from just everything that I know about Super Mario World, and not from not even like experiencing it myself. Yeah. There's so much more. It's not
timeless. Like Super Mario World has a timeless place. The music and the levels and the graphics and the design and the characters and how the characters have progressed in pop culture. Like there's even things outside the game that make the game still live on, whereas the other things don't. It just doesn't quite hold up.
Yeah, Console Wars. I should reread that sometime. I really like that book.
That's the only thing I think that's the one thing that I remember so much is they have like this whole section where he's talking about the kid they sent home, the guy that hooked up all the TVs. Yeah. He's like, it's not so great.
Well, not to toot my own horn, but one time on Fluxapose, we interviewed Blake J. Harris and talked to him about Console Wars. Just throw that out there.
You're a big kid.
I'm a big shot now.
I am happy and honored that you are my co-host here at the Nintendo Show. So like I can't believe every week that you're still here. It's just I count my blessings.
Oh boy. And to that I will drink to you, sir.
I now feel like Lucas.
See, Lucas sees the true side of me though, and you get this side, and Lucas knows. He's like, Lucas is probably sitting there like, Jason's not good to have around. Yeah, what's so good about Jason? He shows up, and then I got to do all the work. Much like on this show, I show up and you make you do all the work. I dropped a quasi F-bomb for you to have to edit out tonight. So
I thought about just leaving it in and see if Kevin picks up on it. Let's throw some news, right? Let's do something else. So my news article is really not news at all. It is a rumor, and it comes from Pixelpar, who is making a name as a rumor monger, an industry insider, maybe perhaps. Ooh. If you don't, so this account, like they called the last Direct.
Okay.
I think they were like real early. I think they were one of the first people. I think he got there even before like Marcus, and like it's hard to keep up with who the originator is because like once one does it, they all are kind of regurgitated as their own. But he called the last Direct, and I think he's got one or two more things under his belt. But he says, making Caroline very happy. For anybody wondering, Pokemon Switch has been undergoing localization since late February, and they are targeting a 2018 release, specifically in November or December. So get hype. 'Tis the season. I thought this was interesting because the draft is next week, and if you're an NFL fan, there are a bajillion things just like this going on everywhere. And as E3 approaches, Jason, and I know every year, like you go, oh, I hate this. As E3 approaches, it gets closer and closer. Every week, something else is going to come out. Waluigi's getting his own first-person shooter game, and it's coming out in January.
There's so many people that deserve to have Waluigi get anything more. Like, I hope he's in Smash. I hope Waluigi's in Smash Brothers because there's so many Waluigi fanatics that are like, I need more Wah in my life, and Nintendo just. Let's face it, I probably got a better chance of Star Fox Zero getting ported to Switch than that happening, but
poor Star Fox Zero. Every time you mention it, it's a sad thing.
I can't get. The Pokemon just doesn't. It just.
You said you wanted an RPG to play.
It just washes over me and does not stick whatsoever.
Oh, come on.
I can't. I was at that end of the. Like I talked about before. I was at the end of that age demo where I'm like, I'm too old to like Pokemon. That's for kids. I can't do it. And then my brother's got it. I was like, oh, I'm going to play Pokemon Red. And I was like, oh, this is fun. And then I was like, nope, I'm too old for that stuff. And I never played a Pokemon game again. So.
And you have no interest in trying it. Like if I was to send you my cartridge to try, since you want to play an RPG, you wouldn't try it?
I downloaded the demo for, we had a demo for Pokemon Sun and Moon. So. We had never even booted it up. I was just like, Is
it so? I'm interested in diving into this.
Like I don't have the desire to like try to catch them all.
Is it just that you think it's like a kiddie thing, like Pokemon or kids?
It's not even that anymore. Because look how many other games I played that are kiddie. Okay. Let's look at the rest of our PSVG alumni. It's too cute, kids game. That's what they say. Like 80% of the Nintendo library is. You know.
That's true.
So
because I mean,
yeah,
I don't collect them all. Like I don't play the game with any collection like insights at all. I don't do that.
I just think I don't know if it's like what I remember of what the combat's like, or I don't know. Maybe I should like play the demo to try just to get some taste of it. But
it is not art. It's not action. It's turn based. And if you don't like that, like I'm thinking of all the turn based in Tokyo Mirage Sessions and Persona and Fire Emblem. Like I'm trying to think of like a non-turn based. Like, what is the RPG then that you're looking for?
Dude, RPG I'm looking for is Xenogears Remastered. I want that so bad. That game, that's like still like my favorite RPG of all time. And so many people I don't think ever played it. But yeah, I just don't. It's just I don't know. Pokemon just doesn't. I'm excited for the people that are excited because there's so many people that want this. It should be on a console again or ever. We've never got an actual Pokemon main release on a console. We've got your Pokemon Stadium and then Pokemon Snap and Coliseum. Was that one of the games too? So, I mean,
I gotta say, playing Pokemon Sun, and I know people don't want to hear this, and there was actually a leaked screenshot that I don't know if was ever debunked or not about a month ago that showed off what Pokemon Switch might look like, and people were let down because it very much looked like a high definition up-res version of Pokemon Sun. And people were like, I wanted it to be so much more. And you remember, I think I actually explained, I think I talked about this with Caroline. I kind of think that's what they're going to do, especially like if this is in fact the turnaround time. If they're going to go from last year's announcement to this year being released, like I can't imagine that we're going to get, some Breath of the Wild transformation of the series as we know it. Not that I even think they need to. This thing is a cash cow. People love it the way it is. Make it as pretty as you can. That said, having played Ultra Sun in the past week, while I was playing it, I was thinking, man, this game is really pretty. It is pretty on 3DS. I was like, but it could be so much more, especially the character models. Not necessarily like as you run around the world, but it's in the like cutscene animations in between the battle, especially the Pokemon. Some of them look like 2D like paper characters, like an outline and like a squiggle on their face. You're like, what is this? Like if you gave it some shading and some lighting effects and whatnot, like you could really make it pop. And that would be really good. I even at its lowest level, if you were like, I mean, not another port of Ultra Sun, we already have one of those, but if they were like, here's the next Pokemon game, it looks very similar to that, but it's all HD-fied. Yes. Count Donnie is totally in Pokemon Bank. You can bring all my stuff over. And I would hope that you would possibly maybe at that point give it a try because I don't know. I can't speak for anybody but me, but it is one of my favorite RPGs in existence. I love Pokemon games, and it's for all the things I think that you're thinking that people play it for. Like I'm not Caroline. I don't collect them all. I'm not hatching eggs. I don't breed. I don't even know how to do any of that. Q's talking about how he's getting all. I don't even know how it's done. Like I don't even know how you do that. I just play the story. I collect my team. Yeah. I do the battles. It's fun.
A weird game that I never thought I would like that seems so out of the box for me that I really enjoyed was what was the Pinata game on 360?
Viva Pinata?
That's what I thought, Viva Pinata. I remember playing that. I was like, I never thought that'd be a game I'd enjoy, and that was like that was so cool. Good game.
Yeah.
Donnie, I really hope we get Isle Delfino in Mario Odyssey. I want Isle Delfino DLC.
Okay. I think that's a really good prediction, and I think look at all of the major Nintendo franchises. I would play
Sunshine if I had a way to play it that wouldn't look like crap.
I see it now. Okay, so that's two things. Every major Nintendo game that's been released in the last 3 years has had DLC for the most part. All of them, like especially all the first-party stuff. Like maybe in the last 2 years, definitely like on Switch, right? ARMS had DLC, Pokken had DLC, Splatoon's had DLC, Kart had DLC, or it had baked-in DLC, Breath of the Wild had DLC. Like, they get it. They get the model. They get keeping you interested in your game. You've got the Rabbids DLC we still don't have. Yeah. I've given up on ever playing that again. I'll live vicariously through Jacob. Maybe I can get him to stream it. But I would love Galaxy Remaster for sure. I mean, not Galaxy Remaster, Sunshine Remaster for sure. Because that game would just in HD, the game would look beautiful. It's got this style.
That was like we've talked about games that you play in certain times of year, and that was always like winter sucks here in Michigan. It's cold. It's miserable. I want to be somewhere summery and tropical and sunny. Sunshine's in the title, you know.
Yeah. My only thing is again, not to beat a dead horse, Odysseys wasn't my jam.
I haven't even gone back and played it after I finished the story. Just sits there. I
feel confident. I tweeted this out back in November. And go find the tweet. I feel like I should retweet it maybe every 4 months. I feel when you get time away from that game, I feel like folks are going to come back my way. And again, it's not to say that the game was bad. I just don't think it holds up to the Mario standard of like a game. I think there was a lot of nostalgia baked in, right? So like that's one. And then kind of touching off of our Bored with Video Games episode this week, where they talked about hype and how I think that hype train got rolling, and people just wanted it to be great. You know, like they wanted it to be good. So like they just kind of went with it. I think if you take like a real critical stance at that game, a critical look, I mean, it's a fun game. Don't get me wrong.
Fun game.
It's a fun game, but it's not the same as 64.
It's a strong return to that style of Mario, but it's, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
I just want Smash. Let's be honest. I'm tunnel focused on Smash. That's like all I care about.
And when it happens, you're gonna play it. And you're gonna. I think I said predicting this in advance. When it happens, you're not gonna buy anything for 2 months, and you're gonna be upset every time anybody else is playing any other game, not Smash with Jason. You're like, I got this game, I can't play with anybody.
Nobody's gonna. That's all right, because I'm gonna have.
Yeah, nobody's gonna play.
I'm gonna have For Glory, or I'm gonna have a Smash Ladder. I'm gonna have tournaments. I'm gonna have something because.
I need a single player to come back, but I'll play with you at least, like, you know, and you know that like the first 2 or 3 weekends we'll play together.
Yeah,
and then it'll be a steady decline. And
I'll play against you and your kids again. That's always fun
with voice chat, no less, and streaming capabilities. It's gonna be
embarrassing.
That's
true. I can
now
do that
now. I get to
now.
share it with the world.
Well, see, that's the other thing I'm really looking forward to is now I have the stream set up. So like one thing I want to do is like I've told her I want to do Saturday Night Smash, and I'll just stream it. Play with, if anybody wants to play me, I'll have my friend code out there. Come in, I'll get my butt kicked. It'll be good times. I might kick their butts. Who knows? I really like what like Brawl Out has taught me is like come on, let's face it. How many hours have I played Awesomnauts? And that's a game nobody plays.
That's true.
So, except that when I make like Lucas play Awesomauts with me.
One thing that I was hoping for, or I actually was thinking about it. Like this might be a really good time with this Smash, considering that we do have streaming. I might be able to get you and Kevin like to show me the ropes, like teach me how to smash. Maybe like a series that we do.
Teach me how to ducky. Teach me how to.
Because like and we talked about it in Discord. Like I like Smash, but I'm all in it for like just the Nintendo chaos. Like I like the stages and the music and being able to have different characters. I'm not Mr. Competitive guy. I barely even know the controls. Like I know there's like a kick and a thing, and you do the directions, but like I don't know.
I don't know what a down tilt is or a back air.
The people that can like stay off the side and like they come back and they get hit and they keep coming. I can't do any of that. I have no idea how any of that's done. So like maybe this is the time for me to actually try. To be honest with you, I've always just kind of like picked up Smash and hit buttons. And I have no qualms with it. I have so much fun.
You can do that.
I have so much fun just smashing the buttons. But that night that we played you, and it was like all three of us against you, and I felt like we were fighting Neo from the Matrix. Like we just couldn't even land a hit. That felt awful. It was just like Brawly versus the Z fighters. Like we were just getting thrown around the ring. I was like, man, I'm really bad at this game. I've legit lost to my kids in Smash. Like I've played them and lost. I'm like, wow. All right.
I had the luxury at that time, though. I was playing it every day because we had it at work. And I had the IT guy, so I was like, Smash break?
Smash.
Am I going to keep working, or am I going to go play Smash Brothers with the IT guys?
Sure.
I'm going to go play Smash Brothers.
That's good.
And they would curse at me and get mad. It was great fun. We had a hell of a time.
Well, I mean, yeah. Who doesn't like that? So I mean, I'm all for it. Like I'm excited to the stages, the music, the characters, see who the new characters are, redo my Miis. But to be honest with you, that purchase is 100% focused and centered around my son. My son has it like you. That's his game. He loves Smash. He will play Smash forever. Like he still plays Smash. When we got a Wii U, first thing he booted up, Smash.
That's awesome.
And he still plays Smash. Like I know people like you. Like there are people out there that just love Smash. You know, like it's Call of Duty, or like they may even be Nintendo fans. They just like Smash Brothers, and that's their game, and that's the only thing they play. He's like that. Yeah. He just likes playing Smash.
Well, let's face it. If we could advance time 10 years, like if I was like 22 at this point, I'd be like all into it. You know, it's a shame like where I grew up and with how technology, like kids have it so good today with you kids with your Discord communities and your online streaming and your video games and your Jimma Jams. You know, like I would. I discovered like my city has a local Smash scene. Like, unfortunately, it was like right when I was getting really busy with work, talking about getting the family going and all this stuff, and I was like, yeah, I can't check that out. But you know, now I'm old. Now I'm like a grandpa.
You have no idea. The day that I had that digital transformation workshop I was whining about in Discord, it was 30 people over 45, all like complaining about how they can't connect to people under 45. Like the whole thing. They literally talked about how innovative Slack was and how we should use Slack as like a county. It's just like sitting there like in the back of the room, just like.
And you're like Slack sucks.
We left Slack a year ago.
Hey, remember Donnie when you're like, hey, let's talk about news? And I was like, hey, let's talk about this stuff we've talked about every other week.
Hey, it's fine. It's cool. It's a hangout. It's a hangout episode. It's very flux-ish. You know, there's not a whole lot going on right now. Sometimes we just gotta connect.
Yeah, do our thing. Well, ladies and germs of the Play Some Video Games Network, I believe we are at our time limit for this week. We appreciate you stopping in and joining us on the Nintendo Shack. Donnie, if people would like to connect with you on the Twitter webs of the world that we've discussed, this magical binding thread of technology that we all consume, how can they do that?
They can follow me on Twitter at Playin' Nintendo with no G.
Ain't no G. Playin' Nintendo.
There you go. And you can follow the entire team at PSVG. That's the easiest one, at PSVG.
And, you know, I'm there at JW Lacey. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, we'll see you next week at the Nintendo Shack.
Koopalings.
This has been a production of the Play Some Video Games Podcast Network. Find more great content at playsomevideogames.com.